Esther in the Bible, her real name was not Esther. But Mordecai, her uncle, had to change his own name and her name. Why? They were in Assyrian land. So her name was changed from Hadassah to Esther, so that they will not know quickly who she is and kill her. So that's what we've been doing. We've been hiding among the tribes in Africa. Last time I quoted for you the book of Zondervan Bible Dictionary that says it very clear that Ham is the father of dark races of Africa, but not the Negroes or the blacks. So Shem was black. Abraham was black. So calling all of us Africans is to hide the truth. We are not Africans. And the African tribes know that we are not Africans.
It's okay.
So any other question? Yes, sir. Is it a follow-up or different? Different. Okay, let's take from him.
Last time I asked this question, but I was not well satisfied with the answers.
Oh, okay.
My question goes about God and our language. Like we are saying about Biafrans, we have many languages that look up like Biafrans. Now we came from one place, so why our language are different?
Thank you. Good question. Remember that God left very early. Long time ago, I mean the family of God, Eri, Arodi and Aleri. Okay, they left long time ago. Like I said, most of us believe before Moses brought out the people. Okay, probably while Moses left to Midian. I will not say before Moses was born. No, it will not be before Moses was born. I will say by the time that Moses had tried to make entry and failed and then ran away to Midian, because he was in Midian for 40 years. So I would say that time may be the time that these brothers took their family and took a walk down from Egypt or Mitzrayim down to that place, and they journeyed and came to that lush land and stayed there. It's a beautiful place to be. Up till today, you can see how green that place remains. It's a beautiful place to be. 2 years ago, I was there in summer. You can't believe it. The weather was 22, 24 degrees. Igbo land. Igbo land. I didn't stay in Lagos. I went to my village and camped there. In the afternoon, put chewing stick for my mouth, came out with barefoot, and walk on the sand, and say, my land, here I am. You get it? I couldn't even put on the fan. It was very airy. The children were running here and there, enjoying the place. It's a beautiful place to be. In fact, all the way to Calabar, when you get to Calabar, you see how beautiful the weather is. It's a beautiful place to be. So they came there and they stayed. Now, you must know that during that time they were in Egypt, there was a mixture of languages going on. Egypt was a metropolitan city. Egypt was a mighty nation. Egypt was the last brain of African development and modernization. Everything you can boast of in the world today was stolen from Egypt. Look, Egypt had medicine, everything well done. Egypt had every kind of machinery intelligence. Egypt had modern warfare systems. There was nothing you could not find in Egypt. It was Alexander the Great that crushed Egypt and stole everything away. The things they could not steal, they tried to break, like the Sphinx. The face was too necroid, so they tried to break the nose. If you go back and read certain documents, you realize that many things we think we are of Greek origin, we are actually of Egypt origin. They just copied it into their own language and signed paper, signed them. Before, as I don't kill the other person, you understand what happened there? So there were mixtures of languages going on in Egypt. By the time they now moved from that place going down, of course, take yourself as an example. if you came here now and there are no people speaking English, you will be forced to communicate with the people. What would you do? You begin to learn their language small, small. And by the time you give birth to your children, for them to be able to exist and make a living, they will be learning their language small, small. Me, I get Pekin here now. They are learning the language. You get the point now. So gradually languages we are mixing up. So thousands of years passed by. These other guys were carried into Babylon. How many years were they in Babylon? 70 years. 70 years. Think about it. Now, this is the southern kingdom before they came back. What about the northern kingdom that was also carried into Assyria? And for many years were there in Assyria, to the point that Hadassah even became a queen. Will she be a queen and be speaking Hebrew there? No. She'll be speaking the language of the people. You get what I mean now? So this is how languages mixed up. Now, how did Igbo language come into being? When the slave masters came, when the missionaries came, they found out that we were living in group of clans. You understand that? Because we knew that we were thrown out of our land, we could no more have king. So we were living in group of clans. If there is an issue, clan heads will come out and discuss. So because there was no single king to hold and then you will control us, it was difficult. So it was after the slave trade, of course, certain kingdoms helped to make sure that we were dealt with, like the Benin Kingdom. I don't know why, but Benin Kingdom dealt very badly against us. Yes, that's the truth. All these things you see Aboriba people doing today, carrying human head, it was not part of our culture. We don't kill people to bury people. But we mourn people for 30 days, at least. Originally in those days, when people die, we mourn them for long. 30 days. Mostly when he's a chief. 30 days, you'll be mourning the person. Why? That was our culture. That was how they mourned Jacob, Joseph, all the patriarchs. They mourn them for long. That's what we do. And we also don't leave our dead away. If we can carry them, we carry them back to the land. This is what we do. But killing somebody else to use somebody's head to bury the dead, we don't do it. That was a borrowed thing from the African tribes surrounding us. So it was Olauda Ekuano, okay, from Omoai. I think it's the Beku area.
Yes.
Right. That boy was sold as a boy to slavery. But when he arrived in UK, he told his master, I want to buy myself. The master said, okay, if you can pay me so amount. I think it was £5,000 or so, something like that.
40 pounds.
40 pounds. Okay. Now think about it in those days. In those days, they would still be counting shillings. 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 It took years. But the boy worked hard, doing trade, doing everything he could, saving everything, and bought himself back. And he started buying other slaves back. But he thought, nah, this thing will take too long. But because he had learned the language very well and was good in what he was doing, he decided to work on abolishing slaves. He was part of the help that started spawning how to stop slave trade. Now, Olauda Ekuano was one of the guys that came in with Anglican Church. First was Catholic, but Catholic was not so willing to, do so many things. Finally, it was the Anglican, because of course, Anglican was Church of England. Okay, he came in with them in Sierra Leone. From there to Freetown. Freetown is here. Sierra Leone. Thank you. In Freetown. And they started gathering slaves and began to put together a way to communicate to them. That was how Igbo language was now put officially together. In the first one, it was rough. When they now came down, they began to teach the people one by one, gathering village heads and teaching them. And when they see Olauda Ekuano or their own person speak to them in their original language, and now be able to tell them, this is what we want to do, this is what we want to do, it was good. People began to accept gradually. People began to learn. Of course, he had a lot of persecutions. So, Igbo language has also gone through metamorphosis. We have so many things borrowed Today you say Oga. Oga is not a Igbo word. It's a borrowed word. Boku is a borrowed word. If we, there are certain things that we borrowed.
Aburu.
Aboro. See? So many things we have borrowed. But the good thing is that we keep expanding it. I knew when it was Abi Chidi, Abi Bidi, you know, we were changing it. See? Abi Chidi, and we changed it to Abi Bidi. We keep changing it and trying to expand it. So that was what happened. Now, but the most important thing is not about the language. The most important thing is about the clans. When you go into locating the clans that are up, because there are so many people that are Igbos without knowing that they are Igbos. I've heard some people say, oh, Calabar people are not. No. You see, most part of our Akwa Ibom and all those, they are all Igbo people.
Yes.
You see? So you find some people in Benin, we are Igbos, we are not in. Igbo no knows. Igbo no knows. What's Igbo? You see? So there are many people that are Igbos. But look, when you go down to all these Boti Shekiri and all that, all these people, people blood. Oh. So don't be deceived. It's just that as time passes, people form cliques, and cliques become stronger with time. That's it. There's nothing more. Yes, sir.
The time our fathers already migrated to the Igbo land today, we know as Biafra. Is there any clan we met there? Is there any people that knows that place before we get there?
Excellent question. That I may not be able to answer you if there were people that they met there. But I know that possibly there were people. There were people. If you go to the maps and look at some of the maps, you'll be shocked what you find. You know? Think about it this way. Throughout the whole of that, I want to be looking at map to see if I can understand what I'm saying here. Throughout the whole of that that West African line, if you follow it down, okay, you see that even when the slave masters were coming, okay, when the slave masters were coming, they knew the people that were all along there. Okay, there were grazers. Some grazers come to graze and go. Okay, grazers, people that carry animals. Okay, some of them will come and graze and go. But our fathers were basically farmers. They were into farming and farming heavy cash crops like yam. You wondered why yam is an important stuff. It was carried. Palm tree was important. We carried them along. There are certain things that our people carried along with them. Ogiri carried along. So some of these things, you know, we cannot say categorically who the people were. But if we begin to dig, we will find. But even if there were, we are good in making deals. How do I know? When Sarah died, Abraham went to the children of Heth and said, I want a field of Machpelah. I want the cave and the whole field. And they said, no, it's okay, just go and bury your dead, don't worry. He says, no, I want to buy it so that it becomes my own. You get it? Finally, the amount was agreed, and Abraham paid that amount that was agreed. There is something about Igbo man and making sure that the land he's standing on belongs to him. Even we have it in adages. When you hear all those things, you know that Igbo man wants to make sure the land he's standing on, he has right to stand there. And if there an Azan where they are fighting over land, an old man will say, don't fight over the land that does not belong to you. Go. Because why? If you fall, they will put you inside the same land. That's what my grandfather said to me. He said, don't fight over land. If anybody wants to take it, leave him. Because he's going to fall and he shall be put in the land. So, you know, we probably came there and there was nobody. I don't know. We probably also came there and maybe there were some people and we decided to pay and buy. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I want to throw a light on what Monso asked. Like, according to the history, I heard from the director of Radio Biafra.
Yes.
He said that the Igbo people meet
Django people.
Django people.
The Django people.
Yes, yes, yes. But I'm not sure where they come from.
Say from Guinea.
Yes, thank you. From Guinea. But there are very few. After the area and so on came down there, then they left. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's what I call the grazers. Grazers. They carry their animal around and they move. All these are Fulani herdsmen. That's the best word to use today.
Yeah.
So these are people that are cattle rearers. They move around. They don't own anywhere. Wherever they want to stay for some time, they camp there for some time. So we cannot rightly say they are owners. See? So that's what they could be.
So my question now is, today we are seeing the Egyptians now as white people.
Thank you.
For the word go, were they white people or were they black people?
Very good question. Egyptians, were they white in origin? No. Remember, the father of Egyptians was Ham. Okay. Ham. H-A-M. This board is having problems. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, okay, Ham. Even the most racist Bible interpreter will tell you that Ham was black. So there's no doubt that this man was
Black.
Question, how black? Very black. You get the point? Black, that towards evening what you will see is the teeth and the color white of the eye. Very black man. Okay. So Ham was the father of Canaan. Father of Canaan, Egypt, okay, Libya, and what became Somali. Okay, that area where what I use the word what became because we are no more sure if the original people are still the people in Somalia today. Nobody can be very sure. Okay, so but civilization started from the downside and went up to Egypt. It didn't start in Egypt. Each king wanted to build something bigger. So each king will build something bigger. Each king will build something. So they kept building from downside Somali and all those areas, begin to come up and ended up in the Egypt enclave there. Now, so they were all black. All the original artifacts, when you see their sculptures, the faces, thick lips, wide nose, big chin, they were all black from A to Z. When did they turn white? Alexander the Great. That's why reading the Apocrypha becomes important. When you go to the book of Maccabees, it tells you when Alexander the Great came in, how destructive he was. He killed them, destroyed them, and took over the land. And his people stayed. Okay? So when Alexander the Great died, he had 4 generals. And one of them was Ptolemy. And Ptolemy is the man that was ruling all that area. That's why anything coming from Egyptian area, we call it Ptolemaic. Ptolemaic. So the Greeks stayed and whiting out started. How does whiting out happen? When you commit genocide, kill the men that are in breeding age, leave the ones that are small to be your slaves, use the women as sex slaves, and breed up whatever you want to breed.
Exactly what happened in Australia.
Exactly what happened in Australia, exactly what happened in Philippines, exactly what happened in many places. Philippines were black. Okay. So, in many places you find it. It's not just Australia. You know, it's look at Brazil. Okay, they are being whited out gradually. Okay, look at all these South Americans. Many of them were slaves. But gradually they are changing. Because of course, after 4 or 5 generations, it goes. Take yourself an example. If you marry a Chinese wife and your son ends up marrying a Chinese girl, by the 4th generation, it's gone. It's gone. Even though that blood is there, but to be whited out. So that's how gradually Egypt turned white. But there are still the original black people. If you go and meet them, they hate Arabic language. They don't speak it. They don't want to speak it. Many of them still speak Aramaic. You know, they live in the, poor mountain villages. That's where you find them. In almost every place where blacks were originally, they are never rulers of their lands anymore. They are poor, rejected, dejected, being used for campaign and promotion. That's one of the pain I have every time I see black children on TV, with flies all over and all that, and they're using them for campaign. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And our leaders are not thinking right. They don't have any pride in them to say, oh, let's try to change this. They are not thinking about that. It's not good. We need to begin to raise up young leaders that will have pride. Pride in them. Pride in them. It's important. So that's how Egypt became white. But Egypt originally was black. Not only Egypt, the whole of Canaan was black. Iraq was black. Okay? Today you see Iraq white, but Iraq was black. Why? If Iraq was also the son of Ham, Iraq started through the son of Ham. Nimrod was the first king of the world. He was the grandson of Ham. So he was black. Nebuchadnezzar was the son, great-great-grandson of Nimrod. So he was black. All those places were black. Okay? Don't think that the blacks were just slaves. No. Originally they were black. It was conquering. When they are conquered, they are wiped out.
So how did the white men come to be?
How they came to the area, or how they
came to be
in this world? Well, there are many theories. I use the word theories. We cannot substantiate some of these stories. So if you go out and read, you can read about Aryan race. Sorry.
Aryans.
Yeah, I think it's Aryans. I forgot the way they write it, but anyway, whatever be the case. Now, you can read about the Aryan race. It's an amazing thing what some people will write. Some people will tell you there was a mixture of ET, extraterrestrial life, and all that. I don't think that is it. because that what we call blue blood today in the world, there's what we call blue blood. RH negative blood. What we call RH negative blood is only 15% in the world. 15% in the world population. So if there are only 15% in the world population, then all white race cannot be Aryan. Okay? Because this RH negative blood is what we are looking at to be something not so normal. Every other person is RH positive. Rhesus monkey protein. There is a protein that clothes the rhesus monkey blood that is also the same as humans. Okay, that's the word is rhesus RH. So now that protein is found on almost every other person, apart from these 15% of people. And these 15% of people have different blood that conducts electricity. You know, it's amazing. They can see beyond the physical. You know, they can easily contact spirits. You know, they suffer different kinds of diseases that you and I will never suffer. You know, so if somebody with RH positive has a child with them, their blood will attack that child and try to kill that child. So we don't know how they came to be, but what we know is that they are here. But something that the Bible says very clearly is that Yeshua says that the owner of the land planted his wheat. At night, the enemy planted tares. And when the enemy planted tares in the morning, the servant says, let's go and take them out. He said, no, leave it. If you go, you may uproot the real good plant. Leave it. On the end of day, the master will separate. So on that note, only Yah will do the separation. We can't tell. Okay? In black population, it's about 1%. In Asian population, it's about 1%. It's in Western population that you have it large. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, back to home. Excuse me. I always hear that we Igbo people came from Nri. So can you clear me, because I'm wondering, is it the Nri is the first maybe town in the Igbo for the first time before all the Igbo came there? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Now, before I go to his question, let me also say that there's another theory, which theory means that the children of Japhet migrated north into the Caucasus after their fight with the children of Ham and the children of Shem, which Nimrod defeated them. So they migrated north into what became Europe today. So probably, somehow, they turned the color that they have turned today. Okay? So that's another theory that is out there, not just about the Aryan race. Now, we are not from Nri. The Igbo people are not from Nri. It is also a wrong story to say that Nri is the head of Igbo land. The head of Igbo land is Aguleri. Okay? Aguleri is the head of Igbo land. That's why we said there are 3 migrations. First migration to Igbo land was the family of Gad, Eri, Aleri, and Arodi. But Eri is the eldest. You get it? Nri is from the youngest. The reason why Nri was being looked at was because when the battle was encroaching from the water side, remember that the Oyibo was coming in from the seaside. So the battle was coming in from that side. Nri, in their shrine, we are using the power of their shrine. They will go to the shrine and pray and all that and come back to fight. So they withstood a lot. So in those days, everybody was going to that shrine thinking that, you know, it is Nri. No, it's not. What, if you go to the artifacts found in Nri Kingdom, there are utensils and all those kind of things. But what did we find in Aguleri, staff of authority.